So something a little different today. Got the XR400 out for a little test ride. Going to be riding this back to back with the KTM. So we'll see how they go against each other. So this is a 96 XR400 that's had a little bit of work done by the previous owner. It's got some suspension work, stuff like bar mount risers here and fat foot pegs and all sorts of stuff. So it's a pretty tidy old XR. And then we're going to be riding it back to back with the KTM450, which has also had some suspension work. So it'll be an interesting little comparison. Only 30 odd years difference in technology, so we'll see how they go beside each other. I will just mention that I'm currently sick, and I was sick while filming the riding as well. So I was struggling a bit, especially when riding the KTM, and was sitting a fair bit. Okay, so I'll just cut in here. As you will no doubt notice, there's not a night and day difference between the KTM and the XR. The XR holds its own pretty well. I mean, maybe there's like 3 to 5 seconds per minute that it's slower, but having said that, I've only ridden this XR a couple of times, so I'm not really pushing it to its limits. But then again, my riding, I'm not really pushing either bikes to its limits. I'm not really power sliding through stuff and sending it off jumps and shit like that. I'm just sort of punting along. The XR does a pretty good job for doing what it does as a trail bike. I do find the limits of the suspension in spots like here on these little woo boys, like boom, I'm going to land, smack me, bit of a pogo. But yeah, it's a good bike. The power delivery is way different. It's got that slow rev torque of the old style 4-strokes, but I mean, get it moving and it still carries some good pace. I did notice low foot pegs a number of times. I scraped my feet through ruts where the KTM managed to go through fine. The biggest area with the XR is I just didn't feel the confidence in the bike to click a higher gear and hit some of the top speeds in the faster sections when the bush opens up, whereas with the KTM I do. The KTM's got better brakes, better suspension, better chassis, better handling overall. But I mean, for 30 odd years of technology, there isn't that great of a difference, and the XR was actually really fun to ride. It's good. Anyway, I'll be quiet and let you watch some more of the riding. The XR does also have a bit of a miss in the jetting, so it's I was sort of playing around with that a little bit, trying to get it to burble and figure out where in the rev range it was. The other thing to mention is that plays out really well for the XR here is that there's no sitting. I try not to sit through this trail section at all because the seat and tank setup on these is horrible compared to a new bike at KTM. So there you go, that's the XR in all its glory. You know, it's a pretty good bike. I really liked it. It was quite fun to ride. Is it as good as a new bike? No. Has this bike had a lot of work done to it? Yes. Does it still need more stuff? Yes, it still needs the carby tuned, suspension set up a little bit better. It was a bit pogo-y, especially in the front, would kick back off of harsh landings, and also electric start. Oh man, kicking a bike over in the heat, especially when I wasn't feeling well. I was sweating like a mofo and you know, really feeling it, struggling, especially just I think being sick too. But yeah, anyway, electric start would have been lovely. Yeah, but yeah, would you be the fastest on this? No. Would you be the slowest? No. Would you have a good time? Yes. Pretty cool old bike, good fun, interesting to ride anyway. Hope you enjoyed this video for something a little bit different.